The lovely Garden State has a lot of farms and produces wonderful crops of fruits and vegetables. Jersey Fresh Produce, today on Let's Cook. Hi, welcome to Let's Cook. Today, I am using Jersey Fresh Produce in all my recipes. Today's menu, we're doing a roasted eggplant soup, a warm spinach, arugula, and mushroom slaw with soy dressing, and then a crab and lobster salad with cucumbers, tomatoes, and corn. Jersey, New Jersey is the Garden State, and a lot of people, Jersey, I think, gets a bad rap because the produce that we produce and the amount of produce and even the seafood is out of this world. And I'm going to start today's recipes with my roasted eggplant soup. Okay, just a little bit note on eggplant. Did you know that we have Thomas Jefferson to thank for introducing the eggplant to North America? It's true. He brought the first eggplants to the United States. So thank you, Mr. Jefferson. Okay, now for my roasted eggplant soup. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to heat my pan. And into my pan, I'm going to start with a little olive oil. So just enough olive oil to cover the bottom of that pan. Now, this is a pureed soup. So I have some garlic here. And all I'm going to do with the garlic cloves right here is I'm just going to cut them down the middle here and make sure that there is no new stalk growing in there, that they're nice and clean. And then I'll just take this end off right here of the clove, and I'm going to put them into the soup just starting this way. So they're just going to start to sweat off there just a little bit. Then we're going to start with a little bit of onion here. So we'll just take our onion, and we're going to cut this so that it cooks uniformly, but it doesn't have to be perfect. So just take our onion, take it here, cut it down like that. And by the way, whenever I'm making a soup, usually I'll use with my vegetables like onions or eggplant or anything like that. I'll sometimes use equal quantities, or sometimes I'll use a 3-to-1 ratio. For instance, if I'm making a cream soup and I was making a cream of broccoli or asparagus, I would use 3 times as much asparagus as the rest of the ingredients. Now, this is key to this dish. Right here, what I did right here is I'll just show you what I did here because it would take a little time. But I have here some eggplant right here. And what I did with this eggplant is I took this eggplant and I peeled it, I sliced it, and I salted it. Then I pressed it down and with paper in between. And you can see that this paper, look how wet this paper, a lot of water came out of this. So then I would take the eggplant this way and I would pat it dry, getting it nice and dry. I would set it up on a roasting pan or a silk pad like this. And then I would season it with a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, and just roast it in the oven. This takes all the bitterness out of the eggplant. So then we just take our eggplant this way, and we're going to cut this up. Now, if it's falling apart, where it's a little watery like this and it's falling apart, just goes right in the soup there. But if it's a little firmer, we'll go ahead and chop this up. Now, the intensity of the flavor of this eggplant is out of this world. So I'll just take my eggplant, cut it down this way as well. Now we're getting rid of some of the bitterness here. So I'll just drop this into the pan as well. The other thing is we need something, because we're going to puree the soup, we need something to bind it a little bit. So I have a beautiful Yukon Gold potato here. And I'm just going to take the potato that wants to come apart here, and we'll dice up this potato as well to go into the soup. And this can all go in together because the only thing we really have to worry about cooking are the potatoes. So I'll just add my potatoes here, get those in, and then we're going to make this with vegetable stock. But you could also use water, or you could use vegetable stock, any of those things. So here we go. So we just add our stock to this now. Just enough to cover our vegetables. Then we'll add our sprig of thyme. In the thyme, I'm just going to take the leaves right off this. So we add our thyme right to that. Then the only thing we need to do is we need to finish this with a little bit of tomatoes and some honey, a tablespoon of honey. That's going to just go really well with the eggplant. And of course, I'll use just one of the smaller ends of the eggplant as a crouton for a garnish for the soup. we're going to take a little break. And then when we come back, I'm making a warm spinach, arugula, and mushroom slaw with a delicious soy dressing. It's Jersey Fresh Produce today on Let's Cook. We'll be back after this. Hi, welcome back to Let's Cook, where we are talking Jersey Fresh Produce today. Now, the next item I'm making is I'm actually going to be making a warm mushroom slaw with arugula and spinach, and it has a soy dressing. It's out of this world. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take shiitake mushrooms like this. This is a shiitake mushroom here. And what I did is I cut them into julienne shreds, and I also took a portobello mushroom, and I also cut that into thin pieces. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to take these, they're all sliced up here, and just blanch these very quickly in my in some boiling water here with just a little salt. So we're just going to blanch these ever so slightly. Let me just get a strainer. Isn't it a cool strainer? Very cool. So I'm just going to take these now, and once they're blanched, because I want this warm, I'm going to take this and remove these and put them into some water. Now, all the water is going to do is stop that cooking process. So we need to make sure that we stop that cooking process. So this is good to go. And that's called shocking. Whenever you see that, that's just called shocking. Let me just get rid of this right here now. That's good to go. Now, the other thing we need to do is, because mushrooms contain a lot of water, they will absorb a lot of water. So now I'll just take my mushrooms out of the water here and put them on an absorbent towel just to remove or prevent them from absorbing any water and get rid of that excess water. So these mushrooms are now good to go. The other thing that I did is right here in this saute pan here, I cooked some bacon. So my bacon is nicely cooked now. So I'm just going to come in here and take this bacon out. Now remember, I want this to be nice and warm. This is a warm slaw. What I'll do with the excess fat that's from the bacon is I'll take that, I'll pour off the majority of that fat. I'll leave maybe about, a half a tablespoon in there. Then to that, I'm simply going to add a little water. Now what the water is going to do is it's going to deglaze the pan and pick up all that flavor. It's also going to cool the pan down enough so that my dressing will still be warm, but then I can add the other ingredients for my dressing, which is I'm going to go ahead and I'll start to put the ingredients in right now. Okay, we're going to start here. I have some sugar right here. Okay, then I'm going to use my rice wine vinegar right here. Little rice wine vinegar. A little bit of vegetable oil. Then my soy sauce, of course, because it's a soy dressing, a little soy dressing there. Then we're going to add the ginger. Now the ginger I have right over here. Now this ginger that I have right here, I'll just show you something with ginger. The easiest way to peel ginger is where we take and we just peel it off right here. So we're just going to take with the spoon. See how I'm peeling this with the spoon? Works really well. Now to get the flavor of the ginger and to really release the flavor, aside from the heat that's in the pan, is if I take the ginger now and I cut it down into little slices like this, and then with my knife, I bring it to the edge of the cutting board and I mash it this way. See how I pulverize that ginger? This way I'm going to be getting that flavor out of the ginger right away. So we'll add our ginger to this. Beautiful. Just come over here, we'll mix this around. And then of course we have to finish this with just a little bit of the lime juice. Okay, and a splash of sesame oil here. Just a splash. Okay, so this is now good to go. So my dressing is good to go. Now the only other thing I have to do is I'll take a little bit of bacon here. Take the bacon. We'll chop up the bacon. Just roughly chop the bacon. I also have my spinach and arugula here. I'll just take this. It's been very well washed. I'll just take this now. And with my knife, I'll make it into a nice tight bundle and I'll cut this into a chiffonade. So we just chiffonade this. Beautiful. Take our bacon, along with our spinach and arugula, along with our blanched mushrooms. Then we just take a little bit of our beautiful warm dressing here, right there. Kind of toss this together. Doesn't this look fabulous? And then, let me just use this. This will be a little easier. Then we'll just go right here, set this up into a dish like this, where we have all these lovely ingredients. Okay. You know what I forgot to put in here, though? And I just realized this. Is the green beans. I had some wonderful green beans, blanched green beans that you could also add to this. And I know we mentioned those in the ingredients. So if you want to add some nice blanched green beans, you could put those in, or I have them in the initial dish. Somewhere I wanted to use green beans today, but that's what happens with Jersey Fresh produce. It's so good, you just don't know what to use. It's all delicious. We're going to take a little break. And then when we come back, we're talking crab and lobster salad with cucumbers, tomatoes, and corn. Jersey Fresh Produce today on Let's Cook. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Let's Cook, where we are talking Jersey Fresh Produce. Now, the next item, I'm making a crab and lobster salad, but I'm also using cucumbers in this recipe. Cucumbers are one of the oldest cultivated vegetables and have been around since 8000 BC. I'm also using some Jersey Fresh tomatoes. Did you know that in France, the tomato is called a pomme d'amour? D'amour. I'm okay. D'amour, which actually means love apple, and was a popular token to give your sweetheart. So, Jersey produce. Look at the size of this cucumber. Out of this world. I don't think I need this much for this salad. So let me just get rid of that end right here. And I'm going to go ahead and start to get everything ready for the salad. Now, the first thing that I'm going to show you, I have a corn here, ear of corn. Now, if you've never peeled an ear of corn, or when you go to the store and you check the corn, first of all, the corn, the sugar in the corn starts to turn into starch almost as soon as it's harvested from the stalk. So I don't ever, when I go to the store, I never buy anything that's already been peeled. So I like it more in its natural casing. But you come here and you're going to remove all the silk from both sides here. Then we're going to roast this corn off. So you just get rid of all of this and you turn it around here just like this. And then we just take the corn right now, take a little bit of olive oil. Don't be chintzy with it. Then we'll take a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Okay, there we are. That's better. Beautiful. And we just turn this around. You're going to roast this off. Once it's roasted off, this is what it ends up looking like. So you can see that it's going to get really nicely charred, and the sweetness, the natural sweetness of the corn comes out. So that's really nice. So we have our corn done now. I'm just going to take the corn right now and just take it off the sides. So I'll just cut with my knife here, take it off, become one with the corn, cut this off. So I have my corn right here. Now I also have some red onions. Now the red onions I'm going to shave, which means I want these to be very subtle and very small. So I'm just going to take my knife, and with my knife, I'm just going to cut them as thin as I possibly can. You should almost be able to see the knife through, through the onion when you shave this, okay? So we want that nice and thin. Not too much onion, we want subtlety to our salad. Next, our cucumber. Now for the cucumber, just make sure you peel it, even though this is what we would call a European cucumber, where the skin is very thin and it's grown in plastic, but I still like to peel it. So I'll peel this, and then what I'll do is I'll take this, I'll take it down here, then cut off this side, this side, this side, and that side. Then we'll just take these, we cut these down in half. This is what we would call a bâtonnet, because we're just going to small dice this. Cut these down, turn them this way, and just dice these up. Beautiful. So we have that all diced. Next, my tomato. Look at this Jersey tomato. Now what I did with this tomato is I simply took this tomato and I removed where it's attached to the stem here, and then I blanched and peeled it. Then I'll take this, I'll cut it in half. I want the true flavor to come out, and then I'll just take, I can use this right here. I'll just turn it upside down, and I squeeze out the seeds. So we get rid of the seeds right there. Cut this down this way, and this is what we would call a tomato concassé. So I have my tomato. Next, I'm excited about this. On the plate right here, I have some cooked lobster meat and I have some wonderful lump crab meat. And I'm going to be using both of these. Out of this world. Along with that, have a little bit of parsley here or chervil. You could use either one. So we're just going to take this, chop this up very coarsely. Doesn't have to be too fine. So I'll take all of this now into my bowl. You'll notice I have not put in the crab meat yet, nor the lobster. Clean up our board here. Now I'm just going to make the dressing. Now to make the dressing here, I'm going to use a little bit of white balsamic vinegar. Then my olive oil, salt. I'm using kosher salt. A little bit of fresh ground black pepper here. There we are. Want this to be a little coarser. Did you know you can adjust your pepper mill? That at the top, if you take and you turn it and you push it down, it'll make it coarser. If you make it tighter, it'll make it finer. So you can actually affect the coarseness of the pepper that's coming out of your pepper mill. A little bit of pepper there. We now toss this together. Doesn't this look fantastic? Now I'll take and I'll gingerly add my crab meat and my lobster and just gently toss this. Doesn't this look fabulous? Now, to go ahead and finish this, just going to take a little bit of our salad right here, right onto the plate. Doesn't that look fabulous? Out of this world. Okay, Jersey fresh produce. I love it. Right in here, we have our eggplant soup. Remember in the beginning, we started our roasted eggplants soup? Well, it's almost ready to be done. We just have to puree it. Don't go anywhere because when we come back, we're going to finish our roasted eggplant soup. We'll be right back. Jersey fresh produce today on Let's Cook. Hi, welcome back to Let's Cook, where we are talking Jersey fresh produce. I feel, and you know, I think of produce and I think of open fields and I think of land and I kind of want to grow a little bit of produce, or I also want to maybe play a little bit of golf. I'm not really sure, but I think it's time to finish the eggplant soup. So what we did is we have our roasted eggplant here with our potatoes and our onions, a little bit of thyme. And all I'm going to do with this now is puree this. So, but I'm not going to puree all of it. Oh, maybe I will. Yeah, I think I will. I think I'll just puree all of it. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to take it just like this, put it right in the blender here, and I'm going to puree the whole thing. The reason I'm able to do that is because it's only coming about halfway up my blender here. Halfway to, that's about 2/3. If it was coming up any higher, I would only fill it halfway full because it's a hot liquid. Then I'll cover this with a towel. This is for safety reasons. And I'm just going to go ahead and puree this. So we're going to let this just totally puree. Da, 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 da. See how nice that looks? Out of this world. Okay, whoops. Okay, this is a little higher speed. We're going to have some great consistency with this. Now, shut this off. I'm going to take this, I'm going to return this to the pan. If it's a little too tight like that, thin it down with a little bit of water or stock. Now, to finish this soup, a little bit of tomato here. So I'll just take, remember the Jersey tomatoes that we peeled, blanched? I de-seeded these. I'll just take this tomato, beautiful diced tomato here. We're going to bring this, add this to our soup. Then, of course, a little drizzle here of honey. Oh. Okay, all we have to do is heat those tomatoes through. That's all we have to do to finish this. Then we'll take our soup. This is now good to go. I have a beautiful bowl here with those lovely tomatoes and the eggplant. Then to finish this, drizzle a little bit of olive oil over the top of it. And then there's always time for herbs. So just a little bit of parsley, chervil, chives, thyme, tarragon, dill. The herb is your choice. Thank you so much for watching me today on Let's Cook, where we featured Jersey fresh produce. You have a great day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.